It's negative 24 degrees right now in Winnipeg, and I've been driving a Tesla through one of Canada's coldest winters. And today, I'm going to show you what it's really like. So first things first, an absolute necessity. This is like top tier. This is a non-negotiable. Is having winter tires. Getting winter tires in this car is the best thing I could have done. Very important just for overall safety. I have one of the Nokian tires. These are specialized for EVs, and I find that it actually helps maintain traction and reduce stop and distance, especially when it's like really icy. Sometimes when you hit the brake, or even with regen braking, sometimes it's just, if you have regular tires or even off-season tires, like you don't really get a good stop and distance when you have icy roads. So having winter tires, best thing I could do. And when it comes to range in the winter, like in this cold, negative 30, sometimes last week it was like negative 30 and negative 35. It's kind of nice this week, we got negative 25. But I lose about 20 to 30% range, sometimes even more. Kind of sucks, but it's still enough range, honestly, if you're driving in the city. So what I do is I just charge it every day, and that is enough to just take me like back and from work and to whatever errands I need to run during the day. I just make sure I plug it at night. I find that if I have the short trips that require me to heat up the cabin ever so often, I feel like that has the most impact on the battery. But usually I could have it packed outside for maybe 8 hours when I go to work. The battery stays relatively the same. It could drop a little bit. It drops a little bit, but nothing crazy. But I lose range when I hit the cabin up from cold to warm. So that is when I lose the most range. As you've probably heard, it's actually quite beneficial to precondition your Tesla. So precondition is basically like preconditioning the car to a set temperature, especially when it's cold. Or you can even precondition your car in the summer to be chill if it's like too hot. You know what I'm saying? So preconditioning the car kind of helps with that. For me, but I think it's advised to precondition your car while it is plugged in. But for me, like while I'm at work, my vehicle isn't plugged in. So I just hit it up honestly when I'm done and I feel like it's ready for me. It's time for me to go, and I'm just gonna drive home anyway. So I don't do that. That's when I lose actually the most range in that time. And when I also drive back, bro, it's crazy. My car could be at 80% and it would drop to 60 from driving from work back home. But while I'm at home, I actually park on the ground in a parkade, so I don't really have to worry about the cold. So I just plug my vehicle in the parkade. So that saves me the hassle of having to precondition in the morning or like worry about losing range like overnight. So I guess I'm kind of blessed with that I get to park on the ground. That saves me a lot of hassle, to be honest. I would say I have a rear-wheel drive, which it's kind of like not as advised to get, especially if you live in the summer with harsh winters. But I went with the rear-wheel drive anyway because of the price tag, you know what I'm saying? It's obviously less expensive than all-wheel drive. And I thought it was gonna be fine. Like, it's been fine, obviously. It's obviously less expensive than an all-wheel drive. So I went with a rear-wheel drive. But it is not advised to get a rear-wheel drive especially in places like this where it's really cold and you have icy roads. With the all-wheel drive, a dual model, you have superior traction, better acceleration and handling in snow and ice. So that makes your job like so much better when you're driving in the snow and it's like slippery. When you have those trenches and you're like, bro, you're trying to like, I feel like my car be drifting sometimes. Like I don't even know like what happens. Like sometimes like it just drifts out of nowhere. And obviously because it's a rear-wheel drive, the traction isn't as good as an all-wheel drive, but I make it work. I honestly try my best to make it work. But I do like the rear-wheel drive that I have because obviously I have better efficiency and obviously the cost was way less than getting all-wheel drive. But honestly, all-wheel drive is recommended if you live in really cold places. Tesla has a floor-mounted battery pack which helps provide a low center of gravity. Now, if you combine that with the total distribution of the weight of the car, that gives you some good handling and like better stability, especially on snow. One thing I've noticed, like, this is so weird. This is one of the weirdest things ever. There's this weird noise that comes. It feels like it's coming from the dash, especially like when it's below -10. I've heard this a couple times. It's like a weird, loud noise, like a fighter jet is about to take off. It's like, I'm like, bro, what the hell? I never know where that's coming from. If you have an idea, if you've experienced that before, let me know. It feels like sometimes like the car's about to blow up, but it's like a weird noise, and you can only hear it from inside the car. But it's usually when it's heating up. I don't know if it's the heat pump that's causing that noise, but it's just weird. I try not to use autopilot as much in the snow, especially when it's icy. I still use it, don't get me wrong, I still use autopilot, but I don't use it as much, especially when it's like really icy. I would use it if the roads are a bit clear. Also, you can't really even use it because it's like every single little withdrawal that you get from the snow, from the ice, autopilot tells you to take over. It gives you that little error like that, hey, something's wrong, take over. And sometimes it could be like when you're at a stoplight and it wants to get going from a stoplight, and there's that withdrawal that you get from the snow. The car just starts beeping, hey, take over, take over. So you can't really even use it as much. I would use it when the roads are clear, but I don't really also trust it enough to just like let it drive me, especially when it's icy. So I don't really use autopilot as much. I don't think you should, honestly. If it's like super icy or like there's a lot of snow on the road, you want to be making sure you're in total control of yourself, of your life while driving, right? So yeah. So we're gonna hop into the energy app so we can actually see a detailed visual of the energy usage. So it's right here. For context, it is 4:20 p.m. I got to work at about 11 a.m. this morning. My car was charged at 85, and we have 75 right now. And I only drove 25 minutes to work, and I've just been here the entire time. Over here it says I've consumed 4.2% since last charge. I think it's more than that because I was definitely at 85. But yeah, it says here 85, and currently I drove 13 kilometers to work, right? And that's how much I lost. And obviously there's several factors here that contribute to losing that. So driving, climate, battery conditioning, obviously this didn't have much effect. But it's between driving and climate. So obviously driving from home to work, that obviously is the biggest one. And then we have climate. So it says here, low tire pressure cost 0.1% since the last charge. That's something I also just learned, that tire pressure also affects battery, which is interesting. Something to note is that the code reduces the tire pressure. Tesla has a recommended 42 psi for the tire pressure, and like I find that my tire pressure is always going down to like 33 psi, 32 psi. Sometimes like it's crazy. And when I go on the ground and I park in the parkade overnight, like in the morning it goes back to like 42 and it's like fine, right? But by the time I drive to work, leave my car parked outside for 8 hours, and I come back into the vehicle, it's down back at 33 psi. And obviously the recommended is 42, but this kind of goes away once I'm back home and I park on the ground again. So it's kind of annoying, but because I always keep getting the notification that I have to check my tire pressure. But the code really does reduce your tire pressure. So if you don't have the convenience of parking somewhere warm or like on the ground, you might have to like make sure you're on top of that. I love this. This is one of my favorite features, that you can see an estimate of what your battery is going to be when you get there. So we're currently sitting at 75%, and it says after this 20-minute drive, I'm going to be at 71%. Now, best believe in the summertime, this would be somewhat accurate. But right now, because of the weather, yeah, we're definitely going to be probably around 65 or 64. That is not going to be 70. So that's what I'm talking about, right? But this is very clutch that you can see and estimate. So if you're running low on juice, you know, to figure stuff out, right? But having this estimate is clutch. But like I said, this is not accurate because the weather is going to make it affect the range a lot way more than what it says here. I've only experienced this a few times, but these are some real problems that a lot of people face with a Tesla. So sometimes you have the door handle like sticking. Sometimes you try to open it, and because it's frozen, this gets like iced up, so you can't open it. You get to only use the app, which is nice that you have that convenience. And also, you guys know how the Tesla window is meant to drop. Sometimes the window doesn't drop because of the ice. I'm guessing that will be common with a lot of other different cars. And you also have the charge port right here, so you touch it, it's supposed to open. It works right now, but it's not that. It's pretty cold, guys. It's like -25 right now. But the other day I washed my car and I went to go charge it. The flipping water got in here, and so it made it basically stuck, and it wasn't opening because of that. So that is an inconvenience. Sometimes you just gotta wait and I guess defrost your vehicle. And also sometimes it's hella cold, bro. Sometimes the snow blocks the sensors, especially if, say, you want to use autopilot, or if you just want to park the vehicle by itself. The snow will block the sensors. You have sensors all around the car, especially in the front. I get this arrow is just like, autopilot or like auto steer is temporary unavailable because of like some sensors being blocked, and that happens when the snow or the ice like blocks it. It's crazy. One thing I would say that is a bit of an inconvenience, especially with having the Tesla in the winter, is how I can't really go on trips, like long trips. If I want to take a road trip out in this winter, I'm not doing that. First of all, like, nah, because I'm scared of running out of juice and not knowing what to do in the middle of like nowhere and having to get towed. So that's one big fear I have. Going on a road trip, you can't really do that, especially when it's super cold. I mean, why would you be going on road trips anyway? But say if you wanted to just drive somewhere far, you have to figure out how you're going to do that, because with the range being less, it's just not really. I don't know. If you've ever gone on a road trip like in extreme cold, like let me know how you guys do it, because what if you run out of juice like and you just can't find a place to charge, because you can't really even calculate how much range you're gonna lose, because that's just dependent on the car and the weather. The estimate you get on the map isn't always correct. And one thing that surprised me would be how efficient it is with heating up. I could heat up my car and it gets pretty warm like in like less than 10 minutes, less than 5 minutes sometimes, depending on how cold it is. I know before I got this Tesla, I used to have a different car, a Chevy, and it would take forever to heat up. You get into the car and sometimes it's also not that warm anyway, you still feel it. But I get into this car sometimes and it feels like it's not even cold. So that has been a surprise. Now, if you ask me, I don't even know why I'm outside. Let's go into the car. What would a gas car be better for? If you have a gas car, honestly, you just have trust in the range. You have trust that, hey, this is the amount of gas that I have. This is gonna take me this far, and I know I'm gonna have to probably get gas at this point. At least you know you're gonna find a gas station and you're gonna just do that. And you can probably go on road trips, right? But just trust in the range that you have. Yeah, that's one benefit you get from having a gas car. But honestly, I love the Tesla anyway. If you can charge at home, it's definitely worth it. If you drive under 200 kilometers a day, also worth it. And if you live in a city, it is also worth it, because you get to save a lot.